So hi, we're back with Laurence. So Laurence, I asked Chen Suhan a little bit about AI Singapore as well. Um, I asked him this question that all of our students always want to know, which is like, how do I land my first job or my first internship? They've heard about, Titanic as you referred to earlier. What would be your advice about seeking your first job or your first internship in data science or even in the specific field of machine learning?
Right. So, today, if you want to land a technical role, definitely you need a strong background, and you need to show your potential manager or the hirer that you can do it. And the best way to show is not grades, it's actually a GitHub account. They want to see code. You have to remember your hiring manager are technical. They want to see your code. They want to see how you code, and make sure you have your GitHub account set up. Months or years before, and not 1 week before the interview. And in that GitHub or the work or the programming that you've done, it should go beyond the Titanic data sets, the Iris data sets, and so on and so forth. In reviewing probably 1,000, nearly 2,000 resumes for our AI apprenticeship program, after a while, I get a sense, I already know which course or which MOOC this candidate has done based on his example. Say, I have built this, I have built that. After a while, I see the same thing, and it's not impressive. So what if you have gone through a MOOC and you have built a Titanic data set to predict so on and so forth? What would be more interesting is you actually work on a real world project. And one of the questions we always get is, okay, great, how can I find these real world projects? Well, if you want to be a good data scientist, you should not be asking me that questions. You should be passionate enough to go and look for it. But for those who still need a bit of help, I say, go to your grassroots organizations, go to the NGOs. They are now being driven and they are aware that they need to use data to execute some of their programs to better reach out to their stakeholders or their members, the community. And you have the skills, you don't have a real world problem. Go and talk to these organizations and offer your time, offer your skills. That's where you will get to learn what building a real AI model, machine learning model is going to be, where their data set is probably going to be handwritten on paper or in Excel, and or not on one Excel but on multiple Excels in different formats. Columns names could be named differently, and so on and so forth. That's where you're going to get the real experience of cleaning data, aggregating data, and then finally building a model which hopefully will benefit the organization they're working for. So that will be a lot more interesting to potential hire. They want to see that, hey, yes, you have the technical skill sets, you actually have applied it to a real world problem and not just another textbook problem. So having that GitHub account with a real world project would be fantastic. Now, if you say, well, I'm not that, I have no access to this sort of grassroots organizations, or I'm not, I don't prefer that, I prefer to code algorithms, that's perfectly fine. Then make sure let's not create another CNN and so on. Why don't you spend your time volunteering with one of the better and well-known open source projects, and make sure you get to a contributor level. Now that will stand you out from the rest of your competitors, because I'm a contributor of Keras, I'm a contributor of TensorFlow. That will attract the attention of your hirer.
I'm really appreciative for your answer, and it helps to corroborate how I choose my own FYP or final year project students as well as graduate students, is making sure you have the engineering background for your GitHub. And I also tell this similar advice to students going for our NUS Overseas Campus or NOC program, that if they want to seek this type of startup experience, you can actually do it right away. I mean, here, now in Singapore, just go to Block 71 or other places and ask around for projects. There are plenty of people who have needs, and they just need to find people like you, our learners in our class who have the chance to do all of these projects but are looking for a nail for their hammer, right? So thanks so much, Laurence, for all of the fabulous advice. So thank you.
Okay,
And
thank you.
we'll be back again.